Hello, junior high, and welcome. This is Dr. Minnick, and what we're presenting to you today is a short video to cover four main talking points pertaining to the start of our school year. With me presenting this video is Mr. Kevin Edmondson, and he's going to jump on here in a moment to talk about arrivals and drop-offs. But before then, I just want to give you a glimpse of the four talking points that we will cover during this video. From arrivals and drop-offs, we will talk about masks, social distancing, and what our school lunches and the cafeteria in general will look like to start the school year. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Edmondson. Again, he is our new school assistant principal, and he's going to cover arrivals and drop-offs with you. So welcome, Mr. Edmondson.
Thank you, Dr. Minnick. I'm super excited to be part of the Indiana School District family. I'm looking forward to building strong relationships with our students and our families throughout the district, and I can't wait to get started. At this time, I'm going to briefly summarize our arrival and drop-off procedures here at the junior high. We understand that this is a big question for you guys, and you would like to get some clarity of what that looks like for your child. It all starts with you guys at home. We're really looking for the support with you guys at home as we work this out together. We are on the same team through this process, and we're looking forward to working with you families as we navigate through these times. But again, that first layer is going to start with you guys at home, checking your child's temperature. We're asking if it's that 100 or above mark, you please keep them home. We also ask that you review page 9 of the health and safety plan. If you click on our junior high link, you will get a list of all the symptoms that Department of Health has provided to help with screenings, procedures here at the school. So if your child's exhibiting any of those symptoms, we advise you please keep your child home for up to 24 hours of them being symptom-free of any of those on that list. And again, we're really asking for your support to help with that initial screening at home. We're going to be extremely flexible when it comes to attendance during these times. So you do not have to worry about attendance and whatnot. We're going to be extremely flexible, and we are going to work with you guys in providing some kind of instruction while your child is out. Once they arrive at school, whether they're a walker, parent transport, or a bus rider, they will be getting temperature checks. If they have a temperature of 100 or above, they will be sent to a location, a room in the building for the nurse to do a follow-up screening, follow-up temperature check, and screening as well. And then we'll be in constant communication, whether it's the administration team here or the school nurse, with you guys in the event you may have to come pick up your child. So again, that's why it's very important that you guys are that first layer doing those screening procedures at home before your child comes to school. And again, if you haven't done so, we advise that you review the health and safety plan that's on our website. And if you click on the hyperlink junior high, you will get more details about what that looks like. At this time, I'm going to allow Dr. Minnick to review what masks wearing will look like here in the junior high. We understand it's another question mark for you guys, and we're going to provide some clarification of what the mask procedures will look like here at the junior high.
Thank you, Mr. Edmondson. As he said, we're going to talk about masks at the junior high. As you know, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has some guidelines for how we are to exercise masks. So basic rule of thumb is when we can adhere to a 6-foot rule for social distancing, when we can, masks can be removed. When we cannot, masks will be worn. Our classrooms, I think for the most part, are going to be in the 3-foot range in terms of social distance. So that's going to require masks. Hallways, we will require masks. But when we schedule mask breaks, Or if we have unscheduled mask breaks, which we are encouraging our teachers to do, masks can be removed. When students are eating their lunches, when they're seated at their table with their friends and enjoying a lunch, masks will be removed. Basic rule of thumb is when students are in motion, there's a good chance masks will be expected to be worn. And I'm thinking about during the day when kids are in transitions and so forth. But if you have any questions or want more detail, you can refer to page 5 of the health and safety plan, or you can attend our town hall meeting, which is a virtual meeting, but it's scheduled for Monday, August 10th at 6 p.m. And there'll be a notice sent out, so stay tuned for that. But if you're interested in discussing masks more at length or any other aspects of our presentation, please plan on joining us then. Until then, we're going to pass on to the next talking point. Mr. Edmondson is going to cover social distancing.
Okay, moving on to social distancing. We get that again, that this is going to be a talking point here. So we want to summarize what social distancing is going to look like here at the junior high. Starting with the cafeteria, whether it's for breakfast or lunch, your child's table is going to be 6 feet apart from another table. They're also going to be 6 feet apart from another student. We measured that out. We spent a lot of time organizing and planning to make sure your child can remove their mask during meals. So that will take place. They will be 6 feet apart. As far as standing in that line prior to them getting their food, we will have it marked off, sections 6 feet apart. So they are social distancing while they're waiting to get their food in those lines. And masks will be on, for a second layer, as again, they're in motion, getting their food, going through the food line, and then walking back to their table. That mask will be on. But once they get to their table, their seats, they'll be able to remove their masks. Classrooms, again, typical classroom, we're looking around 3 feet. So even though there will be some sort of social distancing, again, we're going to be under that 6 feet, so masks will be on. But we'll do our best efforts to provide social distancing in the classroom with desks. But in most cases, it'll be at that 3 feet, not the 6 feet. So masks, again, will need to be worn inside the classroom. On the bus, we're looking at 2 students per seat. If we can put siblings next to each other, we will certainly do so. But because they're going to be sharing that same seat together, shoulder to shoulder, masks will be required. Again, we're looking for your guys' help and support with this. If you are able to utilize the parent drop-off line, that would be greatly appreciated. We understand in some cases, you're going to have your child go on the bus. We get that, and we're prepared for that. But we're just saying, if possible, if you can utilize that parent drop-off, that will minimize and support us with our social distancing when it comes to the school bus. Hallways, again, that language, your child's going to be frequently reminded of when in motion, masks will need to be on. In the hallways, we'll have a lot of signage. We'll have markings, tape markings on the floor. We'll have one-way traffic. We'll have two-way traffic, but we will have that marked and sectioned off, so children will have a safe, evid flow to the building. But in certain cases, we will have several students in the hallways at one time, so we will be requiring masks during that time. Arrival and drop-off. Again, students will be required to have masks. As soon as they're getting out of the car, parent drop-off, they'll have to have that mask on. When they're getting off the school bus, they'll already have the masks on. They will continue to have them on. Again, we're going to be putting several plans in place to keep social distancing whenever we're able to do so. But during those times when we can't maintain that 6 feet, masks will be worn. Okay. So Dr. Minnick now is going to take on the next slides and give you a little bit more details of what the cafeteria and the alternative settings that we're going to be using for meal times.
Thank you, Kevin. Um, as stated, we are going to facilitate our lunches utilizing several spaces across the building. Of course, the number of students that we have back in the school setting that choose the traditional school setting will influence how many of those spaces we need. But we've identified several spaces, including the cafeteria, our gym space, the library, and our large group instruction room if we need it. We will have hand sanitizing stations in or around these spaces so that students can clean their hands before they enter their eating space. We will require masks for students who are purchasing their lunch in the serving lines. But once students are seated, the designs that we've come up with, which we have a couple of diagrams for you to see. This is a rough sketch of our floor plan in the cafeteria. What you may not realize is we've removed a lot of the tables from the cafeteria so that we could spread those tables out more. We have a combination of both rectangular tables where we would have one student sitting at each end, as well as round tables where we have reduced the numbers at a round table from 8 or 9 per table to 4. And this is all in the name of creating that 6 foot of space between each student. This is a rough sketch of our gym floor. And if you look here, we have more round tables positioned in our gym, roughly 6 rows with 4 tables in each row spread across the entire gym floor, can accommodate a pretty large number of students and adhere to social distance guidelines. So that 6 foot rule is held up and allowing kids to remove their masks and enjoy their meal with some friends. Again, we may need to utilize the library and possibly our LGI, depending on how many students we need to spread out. We simply want to provide a lunch that's enjoyable, where kids can take their masks off and just have a break and interact with their classmates with safe practices in mind. So that would conclude our presentation. If I go back to the 4 main talking points, what we covered today, we talked about arrivals and drop-offs. That is to start the school day, what that looks like. Masks and how masks will be incorporated into majority of the school day, but yet we will emphasize flexibility so that mask breaks can be incorporated into that day as well. How we adhere to social distancing guidelines that are set forth by the Commonwealth, and our cafeteria or lunch spaces for providing safe, enjoyable space for kids to eat. We are under some of the expectations or guidelines set forth by Pennsylvania, and so we believe we've created a plan that will provide safe environment, assuming all of our kids are going to come back. And the talking points for today's meeting was simply to give you reassurance and some insight as to how we plan on doing that. However, if this created additional questions, or if you have some other concerns or questions that you'd like to run by us, plan on attending our town hall meeting. It is a virtual meeting scheduled for August 10th at 6 p.m. And a notice will be going out to our community. So if that's something that interests you, please keep your eyes and ears open for that notification so that you can join us. If by chance your schedule doesn't allow you, or you have a prior commitment, feel free to call us at the school. Again, my name is Dr. Michael Minnick, and we have Mr. Kevin Edmondson, and we're here to serve. So we want to make sure that we do our best to answer your questions and concerns leading up to the start of the school year. And with that, we hope that you have an enjoyable, restful, fun-filled closure to your summer months. We're all looking forward to getting back to school. And just a friendly reminder, September 8th is the return to school for kids. That is September 8th. So we look forward to seeing you coming back at that time. Until then, safe travels and be well. Thank you.